Good morning, dear students. A warm welcome to all of you for our today's digital session for the subject Science and Technology Section B. In our previous session on Friday, we have studied about the topic solid waste management. That is the need of today's hour from chapter number 9, Environmental Management. We had seen how the accumulation of this solid wastes, if this waste they are not disposed of in a proper way, how they can be a serious worldwide problem, how they can become a serious problem ahead. In today's session, we are going to learn different techniques, different principles which will tell us how to control or how to dispose of this solid waste, and simple techniques which we can adopt at our level as children and also encourage the other members in the society to follow them. Before that, as usual, we are going to first revise within the first 5 minutes, revise the topics which we have learnt in the previous session, and then we will start with our today's topic. So the first topic which we had seen in our last session was the two types of wastes, biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste, the word itself tells you, the photos displayed here tells you that this type of waste is easily degraded by microbes. It is usually generated, and the main point of generation is the kitchen activities. The different types of wastes which come under this heading are the kitchen wastes in the form of, you can see, vegetables, spoiled food, fruits, or outside the house, ash, soil, dung, parts of the plants, all this which can be easily degraded by microbes, they form the biodegradable waste. And this waste is, you can say, it is called as wet garbage, because if carefully decomposed, we can get a compost and fuel of very good quality from it. The next is non-biodegradable waste, which is really harmful. This type of waste is very serious because not easily degraded by microbes, and if then require a very long period of time. So which type of waste fall under this? You can see thermocol plates, plastic articles, then some electronic parts. They fall under this category, and this type of waste is also called as dry garbage or dry solid waste. Then we had seen the harmful effects of solid waste by taking different examples. The solid wastes which is generated on a large scale, if not disposed of in a proper way, they have a dangerous effect on the biodiversity. The quality of the nature ecosystem is lost. Different examples we had seen last time. Bad smell of the waste. I had taken a very small example. If a small amount of waste is allowed to pile up in your house, and if it is not disposed of at the right time, then you can just imagine about the smell. So around you in the environment, if large amount of garbage is just left unattended, then just think on it. Production of different toxic gases, especially this waste or this waste which is being generated in the industrial sector, the factories and all, the production of different toxic gases from that sector, it contributes to the solid waste. Degradation of natural beauty, surely the natural beauty of the environment. We had seen if the chocolate wrappers or the plastic bottles, the beverage cans, if just thrown, you can say thrown around in the gardens, parks, picnic spots, then how they spoil the natural beauty. We had also seen that the ocean or the seashores previously they were in a very good condition. Nowadays people, they are least bothered. They go to the seashore, they enjoy the spot, they enjoy the different types of animal rides over there, and after eating they throw all the leftovers on the shore only, not even on the shore, inside the water. inside the seas, which spoils its beauty. Air pollution. Surely you know soil, air and water pollution is caused, and because of all the three types of pollution, surely your spreading of the diseases will be on a very large scale. So these are all the harmful effects of solid waste. Then how to manage the solid waste by adopting different scientific and eco-friendly measures. One by one we had studied. The first is separation and categorization of waste into wet waste and dry waste. Composting we had seen. Safe landfill sites, many examples we had taken. Vermicomposting, that is production of compost by making use of different worms. Industrial solid waste management, again landfill method. Pyrolysis, here the energy production by the burning of waste, which is done at a very high temperature, and in this process the different useful fuels like biogas, bioelectricity is produced. Biomedical waste management, I had told you most of the waste is generated from the medical, you can say, sector or the field, from the hospitals, from the laboratories, in the form of used bandages, needles, syringes, the operated parts of the human body or the animal body after the surgery. So all this waste contribute to biomedical waste. They have to be burned. That method is called as incineration to reduce the weight and the volume of the generated waste. So these are the different scientific and eco-friendly measures to dispose of the waste which is generated. Now we will start with our today's topic. Thus we have just revised what we had studied previously. The 7 principles of solid waste management. Different waste now we have to study. Now till now we have seen the waste which is generated, really it is proving to be very serious. To manage it has become the need of the hour. But now how to manage? That techniques we are going to study, which are very, very important and very interesting. The first principle, before that we had also seen why solid waste management is necessary for preventing environmental pollution and to keep the surroundings clean, for energy as well as fertilizer production, and through that to generate work and employment opportunities. Regarding this, I had told you last time, in the process of biogas production, bioelectricity production, different people are employed. So employment is being generated to reduce the strain on natural resources through the treatment of solid waste, to improve the health and the quality of life, and to maintain the environmental balance. So through different examples we had seen last time why solid waste management is necessary. Now, as I have told you, 7 principles of solid waste management. The first is reuse. Reuse. What does this principle tell us? That after use, materials should be used for some other proper purposes. Means after using also, the material should be used for some other purposes. What example you can take over here? I will just give you a very good example which will tell you what this technique means. If there are 2 kids in the house, one kid is elder one and one is the younger one. You know, textbooks which are used by the elder child can be reused by the younger child when the child reaches that particular standard. Only and only here you have to see, you have to take care that the portion is not changed. Or the notebooks which you have used in the previous year, there are some pages which are left out. So that pages you can make use of, means that notebook you are again reusing. I hope you have understood the first technique. After use, materials should be reused for some other purposes. Next is refuse. Refusal to use articles made from non-degradable articles like plastic and thermocol. As I have told you earlier also and today in the revision also, that plastic, thermocol, all this forms the non-biodegradable waste, and really they are the you can say dangerous ones for the environment. So as far as possible, you should refuse to use articles made from such type of materials. In the, you can see in between, our Prime Minister Dr. Narendra Modi, he had started, you can say, and something that not to use the plastic bags and all. If were found, people were found using such plastic articles, fine was taken from the people. But now due to the pandemic and all, that movement is lowered. But even though it is not started from the Prime Minister or our government, what we should do, we should see to it that ourselves we are not using plastic thermocol articles. In that place, make use of paper bags, make use of cloth bags, make use of glass, which are made up of glass or steel, instead of making use of thermocol. The next is recycle. The third principle is recycle. Recycle means production of useful articles by recycling of the solid waste. For example, paper and glass can be recycled. Means again they can be recycled, and different types of useful articles can be made from paper and glass. Rethink. Rethinking our habits, activities and their consequences in connection with the use of various articles of daily use. You should think yourselves that whatever articles I am using, whether after use this articles can contribute to the non-biodegradable waste and harm our environment, or its use, whatever I am using, will not prove to be dangerous. Means I know I am drinking water, I am drinking my tea through proper glasses which are made of glass, steel, then surely I should know that my use will not harm the environment. But if repeatedly I am making use of plastic use and throw glasses or thermocol glasses, thermocol plates unnecessarily, then the amount of garbage which will be produced from it, that will harm your environment, because you know all these non-degradable materials, they take a large amount of time to be, you can say, to get degraded or to get moved out from the environment or atmosphere. Reduce. Reduce means restriction on the, reduce means what? You have to lower down. Restriction on the use of resources to avoid their wastage. Old materials should be reused. One thing should be shared by many. Use and throw type of objects should be avoided. You know, the natural resources, especially the non-renewable resources, they are getting depleted every day on a very large scale. So its use should be lowered down, restricted. For example, water, you know, is a very valuable resource, or petrol, diesel. So you should restrict its use. Old materials should be reused. Old saris and all, they should be reused for making the cloth bags. One thing should be shared by many. Nowadays, the sharing habit has gone away, which should be brought into practice. Means suppose there are two children, then same type of textbook, it should be shared by both the child, instead of one laptop in the house should be shared by two people. So more and more demand in the market causes the market or the industry to produce more. So more production, more use means more amount of generation of waste. Use and throw type of objects like pens, thermocol glasses and all that use should be avoided. Research, very important. Conducting research related to the reuse of materials. Which materials can be put into use again that are temporarily out of use? Some of the articles, they are temporarily out of use now. So how they can be brought into use again, and how the strain on the resources can be lowered down, that research should be carried out. Regulation and public awareness, this is very important. Following the laws and rules related to waste management and motivating others to do the same. Suppose you are traveling in a train, we take a good example over here. you are eating some chocolate. You are just eating the chocolate and throwing the wrapper down inside the tray. कौन देखने वाला है? You should not do that. If you are eating some fruits, just throwing away the peels or the skins of the fruits around you. Although it is not your house, but this entire ecosystem, this entire planet is your home. If you keep it very clean, then others will also be motivated. Suppose you have eaten a fruit, you have eaten a chocolate, you have put that wrapper, you carry one plastic small bag with you. Inside that you can gather it, and when you come to your home or you visit the school, you have dustbins, garbage bins, or do not carry all the way along. Also on the way, if you find any garbage bin, then you can throw it over there. This small techniques will help you to you can say put a control on the amount of waste which is generated. At the same time, people who are seeing you, they will also get motivated to follow the same techniques, and surely one day our planet will be very clean and tidy. So these are the 7 principles which you should follow and also motivate and encourage others to follow. The first one was, let us just go through them very quickly. The first one was reuse. The second one was refuse. Then was recycle, rethink, reduce, research and regulation and public awareness. After this topic, we are going to study the 3R mantras. 3R mantras means the 3 R's which will help us to again have a control on the amount of solid waste which is generated. The first R here stands for 3R, means first R stands for reduce, reducing the amount of waste, reuse, reuse of the waste, and recycle, recycling of the waste. All these 3R mantras we have already studied under the 7 principles. So I need not give you different examples over here. Now through the various, you can say, points ahead, we are going to see how we can take care of our environment, which habits help in the waste management. The first is throwing plastic wrappers of chocolates, ice creams, biscuits, etc. into dustbins. Avoid littering. Just now I have told you, avoid littering means people have a habit. They just drink the water from the bottles, plastic bottles, and just throw away the bottles around. That is known as littering, spoiling or making your ground a garbage bin. That should be avoided. Next is avoiding the use of plastic bags and instead using cloth bags or bags prepared from old saris, bed sheets, curtains, etc. You know, bed sheets and all, after using it for a certain amount of time, they become old. So instead of just throwing them away, you can convert them into cloth bags which can be utilized by your parents, your grandparents for bringing different groceries from the market, milk, or you can say fish, different items from the market, old curtains, old saris, that can be made use of by converting them into bags. And so you can say here there will be surely a restriction or a control on the use of plastic bags. So once the use is lowered, the demand in the market will automatically go down, and then they will not be produced on a large scale in the industrial sector. Using both sides of a paper for writing, reusing greeting cards and gift papers. Many a times you get the gifts during the Diwali birthdays. What you do in a hurry, you are very, you can say, curious to know what gift you have got inside. You just remove it, the gift paper, in such a way that it gets torn off. So instead of just see whatever gift you have got, it is yours only. So try to remove the paper in a very good manner and then put it under your, you can say, mattresses and all. So they look like the new iron papers, and that you can reuse again when you have to give gift to other people by just using the same gift paper for wrapping. The next is avoiding use of tissue paper and preferring to use one's own handkerchief. You know, handkerchiefs which you use, they are made up of cotton. So after use, when you come home, you can just wash and reuse them. So if you make use of tissue paper, after use you have to throw it. that contributes to the amount of solid waste. So you should avoid its use. Using rechargeable batteries instead of lead batteries, implementing various programs of solid waste management, and encouraging the family and society in this regard. There are different programs which are taken, you can say, they are being taken care by the government sector. So to make the society to people aware about what serious problems the world is facing because of this solid waste. You can say our planet is drowning in plastic pollution. Drowning means the amount of plastics, which is mostly half of the plastics which is produced in the market, that is not reusable. So our planet is drowning in plastic pollution, and really it is very harmful problem ahead. And the last one is avoiding use and throw type of articles like pens, canned cold drinks, tetra packs. They all should be strictly avoided. Now the last topic related to the solid waste management, we are going to see the period required for the degradation of waste. If the time required for the degradation of solid waste generated around us is very long, then it can seriously affect the other environmental factors. So here you can see that plastic or thermocol, they take a very large amount of time, years and years for the degradation, and their production, their contribution to the environment, it can prove very harmful. If you see in your textbook on page number 104, that chart, the waste materials name and the period of natural degradation they have given, that is removed out from the syllabus under 25% reduction, but just for your knowledge you can go through it. Banana peelings, it requires 3 to 4 weeks for natural degradation. Cloth bags, 1 month. Rags, 5 months. So depending on that, plastic bags, 10 lakh years. So from the period you come to know which waste is harmful and which waste is useful. Now here on the slide you can see two pictures. Here is picture A and picture B. In picture A, what you can see, the different methods of storing the waste. The mother explaining her child about the categorization of waste. This is the bin for wet waste and this is the bin for dry waste. You can see around you the municipal sectors, they place the bins according to the categories, and then people can put the waste according to the category into their different bins. And in picture B, you can see the use of specific dustbins as per the type of waste. This is the dustbin for paper, this is the dustbin for glass, this is the dustbin for plastic, this is the dustbin for metals. So according to the dustbin, we can properly put the waste in that proper bin so that they can be taken care of ahead in a proper manner. With this we complete the topic of solid waste management. Our next topic to end this chapter is disaster management. First, we will see today what is meant by disaster, what are the different types of disasters. And in our next session, we are going to see the different management techniques or the different techniques by which we can manage or control the disasters. Disaster. What do you mean by this term disaster? Disaster means a condition or an event which has taken place either naturally or brought about by human activities which lead to the loss of life, property and economy, that is money. So disaster, whether it is on a very small scale or a large scale, it is harmful. Not only harmful in terms of loss of life, but also harmful for the economy and for the nation. So there are two types of disasters. So here in this chapter we are going to study, in this topic we are going to study about disaster management. So before management techniques, we should know which are the types of disasters. So there are two types of disasters, natural and man-made. Natural disaster. A disaster caused by natural factors is called as a natural disaster. Different types of disasters you see occurring around you naturally in the form of earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, cyclones. The cyclone Taukte which hit the our nation, our state recently. So this all contribute to the natural disasters. Now natural disasters very you can say few amount of time it is being caused by the environment or the planet, but somewhere our human activities are only responsible for the production of this natural disasters. Different landslides, they are also examples of natural disasters. Man-made disaster, here the activities which are man-made which leads to different disaster, they are known as man-made disaster. A disaster which is caused due to the human activities, for example wars, fire accidents, industrial accidents, or the bomb explosions, terrorist attacks. These are all man-made disasters. Chemical accidents in the industries, somewhere due to you can say unattendance by the people working in the industry, there are some gas leakages and all where the disaster can be very serious also. This is known as chemical accidents. Or stampedes in mass gatherings. What do you mean by stampede? When people gather in mass for a certain you can say gathering and all, and then they hear something unusual, and then the people they start running on a very large scale in the same direction, and in doing so some people fall down, the others they just crush the people below their feet and they move ahead, stamping. So that disaster is also very harmful because many people also die over here. Many become impaired. Riots means in Marathi you call it as dangal. What you can speak about the general meaning of riot: a violent uprising or wild disturbance by a crowd, an outburst of any uncontrolled feeling or emotions, especially the emotions which are full of anger, and then the people they create a riot. So all this you can see occurring around us from time to time, and they really cause large scale damage to life and property. You can see the photographs of different man-made and natural disasters. Here you can see the loss of property after an earthquake, here and fire outburst. Here you can see floods. Just now we have heard about, not experienced, heard about the flood conditions in Mahad. Here you can say due to the drought conditions. Here you can see something related to fire only, or something leakage and all through the industries. Here you can see again a fire, here some terrorist attacks and all. So all this attacks mean what? This all they are from the different types of disasters which can prove harmful to the environment. So today we have seen what do we mean by a disaster and the different types of disasters. In our next session we are going to study the different disaster management techniques, the different first aid which we can provide to the disaster victims, the basic principles of first aid, and if possible we will just start with the discussion of textual exercise. So till then, thank you from my side. See to it that study is going on in a proper manner. Make utilization of your vacation for the completion of books. At the same time also try to enjoy the Ganpati, you can say, celebrations maximum from your home. Stay at home, stay safe, stay healthy, and see to it that you and your family members are also safe. Thank you, dear children.